Um, Charlotte DeMolay.
Here.
Tony is not here, right? Okay. Dave Gaddis.
Here.
Kathleen Clazier.
Here.
Leslie Notero.
Here.
Robert Risberg.
Here.
Michael Zabel.
Here.
Lynn Reeves.
Here.
Okay. First thing on the agenda is approval of the July 16th meeting minutes. Your motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. They pass. Thank you. All right, we've got a couple of things to talk about. Committee deliverables and priorities, as it says. We're talking about what needs to be communicated. And I think, who put together the Excel spreadsheet with all the priorities, types of information, and so on?
Rob did.
Rob, are you here, Rob? Yes, I see you. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I sent out, and I thought Charlotte was going to do something with it, so she may have added something to it.
Nope, you did what was needed to be done, so saved me some work.
Okay.
I think this is, it sort of covers everything that we need to do, and prioritizes it, immediates, routines, periodic. Any comments on this strategy?
Before comments, I would just say that we didn't really talk in detail about the how to communicate. So when I created that column, I just filled it in as kind of placeholders. I didn't, by no means am I trying to impose my thoughts on everybody. So I figured that we would massage that when we got together.
Okay, good point. I have a couple comments on the how to communicate. When you have like auto call system, are we talking about robocalls?
Well, what I was thinking there is we had discussed, I think, in our first meeting, a system where you can do, I guess it would be similar to an auto robocall, but it would be with a specific message from the city.
When I think David had researched several of the things that could do text as well. That's what I took your robocall or auto call to be, auto call / text. So
yeah.
Maybe we ought to put that in to clarify, call / text.
Agree.
Okay, so basically I tested one service yesterday, and I used the city staff as my guinea pig. The name of the service is Click Send, and it's about 1.2 cents per person per message. And you can break it up into text messages or voice calls, just depending upon how the person wants to receive their message. You can also send emails directly from the same system, but I think it's kind of ridiculous to do that if the cost of emails using Constant Contact is less than using this service, then certainly use Constant Contact. But if it's the other way around, then maybe this service might be the way to go. So I sent it out. I had a couple of problems with it because they saw me sending out a message that was a simulation of a water main break on 22nd Street. So they flagged me as a spammer because they didn't think that I was really with a city. So after we got that cleared up, then they allowed the messages to go through. Lynn or Patty, I don't think Kyle's here, but would either one of you like to share what it looked like on your end as somebody who would just receive a message?
Where is it? Yeah, it just was what we received was a text message that basically said from the city of Bel Air Beach, there's a water main break and it will be resolved no later than these phones we have, later than Friday evening. So it was a text message, and it came right through right after David said he was going to be sending it to us.
So,
Dave,
yes, go ahead.
question, when the people to receive that, do they have to do that opt-in and agree to any SMS fee, or does the service cover that fee?
You know, if anybody's paying for text messages these days, they need to look at a new plan. But no, if anyone's receiving those messages, it's at their own cost, if any are incurred. However, the plan is not to blast everybody in the city with those messages. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give the customer, which is all of us, the opportunity to say, this is how I'd like to be contacted. So let's see, we've got email, we have text, we have a voice phone call, which the service actually did a pretty good job of that also. And then you've got your standard social media, you've got snail mail, you've got, you know, all of these different ways. So basically the way that I envision it is you've got a list of important messages, the ones that really you want to know what's happening, such as a water main break. How would you like to receive that message? Would you like a phone call, a text, or an email? That's pretty straightforward. And I think whenever you're signing up for that list, you say that, hey, if you're receiving any charges by getting this message, you're on your own. The city, that would be ridiculous to refund somebody that money.
And that would be one of the options that we could put on the postcard that we send out to all of the residents, saying, you know, for safety issues and, you know, emergency kinds of things like that. How do you want to get those?
I would think so, but I also wonder if people are going to be a little leery about putting their personal contact information on a postcard that's not in an envelope.
You can always drop it off at City Hall.
That's a thought, or possibly what if the postcard directed them to a form on our website where we actually compile the data instead of having to manually transfer it from paper over to a database. I'm thinking that a form would just give it all to us at one place, and then the IT guys could just spit it out for Patty one time.
Well, you say, you know, put a form on our website, on the City of Bel Air Beach website?
Yes.
Okay. And how do we control that it's only the people of the City of Bel Air Beach that fill out that form on the website?
Well, because of the sunshine law, I don't believe we're allowed to prevent any. I think anybody that wants to get on that list can.
Okay. And what sort of personnel time is involved in, like, when you did this quick send thing today to Patty and Lynn, was it an extensive, you know, is it going to take a lot of personnel time to get something out?
I actually have it pulled up. If I'm able to present, I will demonstrate right quick.
Okay.
Now, I do have a question before I get started. Would anyone else like to be a volunteer. I can add it. I've got basically a contact list that I set up for this group, but I've not added anyone to it except for myself.
Sure. I'll be
That's
You
fine.
need like a beta tester?
Yeah,
You
sure.
would-
I mean, this is just for this meeting and this group, and whenever we're finished with it, I just delete the list.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm fine
Yeah,
with
I'm
it.
in.
I'm in.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, now normally if once our database is compiled, so, say that we've pulled all this data out of the website and we have our beginning list of people that we want to start sending messages to whenever the need arises. Patty's not going to be manually entering these things. Just every so often she'll get an update on the database and then that will be imported. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to add these right quick. And all right, so here's a phone number. Leslie, what's your phone number?
727-215-2199.
Dave,
Yes.
Dave, can I mention
Yes.
something? To anyone
sure
giving out
can.
their phone, to anyone giving out their phone numbers, don't forget that this is recorded and it'll be put on the website.
Oh, you're doing that. Okay. I tell you what.
We have to, yeah.
Public
Okay.
record.
I know Leslie's is already a public record from her campaign, but I didn't know about anybody else's.
I don't have a good answer.
I don't mind giving
how
up
to
mine. I
explain
mean,
it.
the robocallers all have it anyway.
Yeah, right.
Can we email it to you, Patty, and then you can send it to Dave?
Sure.
I can do that real
Yeah,
quick.
why don't we, everyone do that right quick.
I think our applications are on the web already, and it's got this information. I thought I saw it in one of the agenda packets. Our applications for this committee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know yours is too, Charlotte, probably yours, Rob. I don't know what numbers you put on, Kathleen, Mike, yeah, everybody. Whatever you put on your applications is already a public record, so.
Leslie, I stopped typing while we were discussing that. Would you give me your number one more time?
Sure. 727-215-2199.
Got it. All right. Is everyone else emailing them, or are you just going to hand them over?
I can hand mine.
I'm gonna email.
Who's going first?
Okay,
Charlotte?
I'm able here.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mike.
301.
I didn't
Nine-
catch that.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
301
All right.
943 3443.
All right. And there's that one. And
Okay.
who's next? Rob?
Yep. You ready?
Yep.
706-580-2567.
I'm an X706er myself. Next.
813,
Who is this?
Charlotte.
Oh, for some reason I thought I already put yours in. It's okay. All right, say it again.
813-421-4477.
All right. And the first one that I got, who was that?
Leslie.
No, there. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Who's next? Anyone else? Did anyone email?
I did.
Did you get it, Patty?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. And if you hear snoring, it's not me, it's my dog.
I'm going to remember that one. I have your elect Dave Gaddis email. Does that one still work?
It sure does.
All right, I'll just send it. I'll send it there.
That's okay. I just forwarded it, Kathleen.
Okay.
You should have it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep, there it is. Got it. I think. Let's see. What did I get? Okay, let's look again here.
I didn't send anything exciting.
There we go. All right. Yep, I see it. Okay. Add. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would be number 6. Okay. Patty and Lynn, you've already seen this. Are you good?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. So let's see here. I need to become a presenter, Patty.
A presenter. Let's see. Well, it doesn't have that option.
Okay, hang on one second.
Something else.
All right, it may be, oh, there we go, share screen. All right, we're good to go. Host
Oh, got it.
disable participant screen sharing. Can you re-enable that?
Hold on 1 second, because that's, make sure okay, so Dave, advanced sharing options. Who can share? All panelists? Right now
Yes.
it's only hosts. Just switch over to all panelists. Okay. All right, done.
Yep, and I'm good to go. Okay, now then. Find my right screen here. There we go. Okay. So back to here. Okay, so this is the screen. You can see that I've added you guys. All right, so if you'll look right up here, can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Oh, where it says balance?
Okay, you'll see the balance is $2.74. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick SMS.
That is so cool.
Okay, so I'm going to select from the list. So start with a C, and there's the communication committee. And right now it's from a shared number. That means you never know where it's going to come from, but I'm guessing it's going to be a 201 area code. We will have a dedicated number if we decide to use this service. So whatever that number is, we'll actually publish it. That expect a call and whitelist this number if you want to get messages. So from the city.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Okay, and I don't have a template. I just logged in, I selected that list, and now I'm going to send it. All right, and send. You can see the cost is roughly 13 cents is what is, well, 14 cents roughly to send this to this group. So here we go, and I'm sending it off. Now, you can always check the progress. I already got my message.
Yeah, I got mine.
Text message.
Yeah, I got it already.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see how quick it is, especially in the case of an emergency. I can't think of a faster way to do it. Now, let's do one more. Let's see here. I'm going to go into voice, quick voice, and we're going to do the communication committee again. And I spelled that wrong. I sure did.
Yeah,
Thank
just
goodness
one
for spell
C.
check. There we go. Right. Run. Oh, and by the way, have a nice evening. Okay, so you can see what I've done and how quick it was. I'm going to select send now. All right, and this group is going to cost 8 cents. I'm going to send it. And let's see here, that should be it.
Should this be coming through text messages on our cell phones?
This is going to be a phone call.
Oh.
Okay, now you see right here, it says wait approval. It's because I'm the new kid on the block on this service, and they're trying to make sure that I'm not doing any funny stuff. So they may or may not let this one go through, but I actually admire them for doing this because everybody hates robocalls. But what I always recommend is you're limited to characters on SMS. You have more characters on MMS, and voice you have more characters, but always announce this is the city of Bel Air Beach. That stops people from hanging up. If you start giving a message before you announce who you are, they're not going to listen. So you can see that what's happening right now is a human being is going to look that over and decide whether they're going to let it go through.
I just got it.
Once, okay.
Yeah, I just got mine.
Yeah, and mine is ringing too. So can you hear it?
Got mine.
Yep, mine just came through. Yeah.
Yeah, got it, understood it.
Yeah.
See how easy that is?
Yeah,
Now,
that was very smooth.
I've sent, I just sent a total of 12 messages, and you can see I did it for 20 cents, roughly.
What happens on the text message if I decide to reply to it?
It
I'm
doesn't
doing it right now.
It won't do anything because it's a shared number. With a dedicated number, you may be able to bring it back. I did see that there was something about receiving messages. Let me see what this is. Messenger.
It's going to totally screw you up if I send a reply to 201.
It's not
Will that be just go to
will not
your personal?
come back. It wouldn't know who to filter it to because it's a shared number. So basically it would go to the service and then just die.
There's
Whereas,
no way of knowing if it was received then by the people it was.
now there is a way to know that it was received, and if you go to history right here, you can see received.
I just responded to you.
This is my reply to the text message. Is that what you wrote?
Yep.
Well, there you go. And then you can see where some of them failed. So if cell phone numbers change or anything like that, you can certainly drill down. There's sent, there's failed, there's received. It's a very thorough service, and there's no sign up fee other than just throwing some money into the account and using it as needed.
Said we would need a dedicated phone number. We can't use the 595-4646.
No, you would have to use one of their numbers. That I'm sure what they would do is they would give you a list and you would pick one, but it's a dedicated number. Let's take a look at that right quick and see. So numbers. Let me see here. SMS. Click here to purchase your first dedicated SMS number. Okay. So here's a bunch of them. And it looks like they're all 833 numbers, but you would have the same number all the time. There's a 719. I guess you could go through and pick which one you thought would work best for you. So let's try this. Numbers with, let's try 727. Not that way. How about, what's Tampa's area code?
It used to be 813.
81. Nope. So you just, it's kind of luck of the draw. You find one you like, and then you see what the cost is, $1.63 per month.
What type of classifications do you have for the contacts? So are you able to break it down, because I'm assuming we're going to collect what street or addresses of everyone. So if you needed to, send the water main break on 22nd, are you able to send it just to that street?
You can actually, if you want to you can be as granular as you want. For instance, if I go back to contacts, all right, so I'm on this list, but I'm also on the example list.
Yeah.
So you can have as many lists as you want, and like basically, if I said Bellevue Estates Island, then I could create one like that. Or if 22nd Street, or north of the bridge, south of the bridge, any which way that you want to, so that let's say that there is a water main break on my street. Well, no one else would care except for my street and the streets that it feeds to. So that might be a good way to break things out. And it also depends upon how much time the city staff wants to spend on making it granular.
Yeah,
I think for these, we don't want people to respond though, Leslie, because I don't think we want to respond to all the questions or comments, right? So maybe at the end of something like a robo statement like you made, we would put, that it's not manned, or that no response required, or something about no one will be there to respond.
Right.
There was just a, what if somebody
Yeah, no, it's good to know, but I don't think we want to do that.
Well, there's some problems with that also. SMS is cheaper to send, but you're limited to 160 characters. I can fill up 160 characters in 2 sentences. And so if you put do not reply or do reply, then you're taking up characters and you're not getting the best bang for buck. If you went with MMS, you could take it further. I think it's up to 1,600 characters, but then you're going to have people that will see it's Bel Air Beach and they don't like lengthy messages and they're just going to ignore it. So, we're in a world of short attention spans, and you just basically have to adjust to it.
Well, and if you don't have a smartphone, which yes, there's still people, I have several in my family that don't, you can't get the MMS. It just comes over garbled.
That makes sense, and I always recommend just doing SMS and then voice. So you give them two options, and now there's one thing you can do. Let's say that you do want to send a lengthy message in SMS. If you go over 160 characters, it will break it up into two messages, and you will get back-to-back messages from the same number. But we're charged for two messages instead of one.
Okay, that's a very interesting system.
Well, I mean, I'm sold on it, Dave. I think we ought to recommend this to the city. It seems like it gets at part of what we want to get at, and it's not very expensive and pretty easy to use.
Yeah, I concur with that.
It's timely. It's not going to require a full staff member to deal with this thing. But question, weekends, evenings, we just don't get messages, or,
I would think that if there's anyone in this city that knows what's going on during the weekend and knows what an emergency is, it's going to be Lynn or Kyle. And that would be the only time that I would really recommend sending out any messages would be during an emergency.
right.
But the point is this service is so easy. Literally, it would take either one of them 2 minutes to blast out the city with something going on.
You saying even they could do it?
Absolutely.
Dave? Sorry, Lynn. Couldn't resist.
I didn't expect that.
So, Lynn and Patty, now that you've seen the backside of this service, what do you think?
Well, I don't think no, it's not a bad service. It's similar to even Code Red. You load the numbers and you got them in the process, and then all you have to do is type the message.
Yeah.
The issue, just to clarify, we don't get notified as an example because the water, sewer, and things like that are not ours. They're Pinellas County's. And a lot of times we wouldn't even know it was broken until they came to fix it. So, and they don't notify us when something breaks. So we may need to work something out with Pinellas County, and I don't know how they notify people either, unless it's a major break. But those things are kind of a county issue, not a city issue. I'm just picking out some things that are on the list that really we don't have any control over unless, as an example, the sheriff tells us, which he doesn't tell us that there's an accident every time until after the fact. So if we broached it that way, there may be a problem being able to tell someone that, hey, there's a water break on 22nd Street.
Well, that's probably a bad example, but I'm sure that there are plenty of other examples that we're really missing out on.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I don't want, the committee to think that if somebody breaks a water line on, a contractor hits a water line on 25th Street, that we'll know anything about it because the contractor calls the county directly. They don't call us.
I just looked up the Alert Pinellas thing on my phone, and I think we need to encourage all of the residents of Bel Air Beach to sign up for that, because you get mandatory evacuations, hurricane information, gas leaks, boil water orders, utility notices, flooding events, hazard events, local emergencies. You know, and that covers a lot of what we're trying to put up, and the county's doing it.
And that's where we probably need to go through the list and say, okay, right off the bat, these emergency items are off the, you know, they're not our responsibility, but we need to encourage the city to sign up.
Yeah.
Right.
Encourage all of our residents to sign up for Alert Pinellas, and it's totally free to us, which.
And this system is very simple. I mean, once you kind of, maybe it could be broke up into segments of town or something, like as an example, they're going to have a run along Gulf Boulevard and it runs to 22nd Street. Then we could send a message to the people on 22nd Street North that said, hey, when you're coming out of your street, there's a run happening on Saturday at 7 o'clock.
That would be a good use for that. Or
right.
Yeah, I think this system it's part. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
I was just going to say, I think that a system like this is just part of your web of
right.
systems. I agree. Alert Pinellas, everybody should be signed up for that. The city can do this if we go with a Facebook page and the city posts some notice there. You know, it's just another, hopefully a redundant way of getting information to the people who aren't on all the other systems.
Right.
I'll tell you something that I would like to see on it, and I don't know, you know, this is one of those items that that everyone they talk about, but they never actually do anything about it. They want to know what's on. They always say, "I didn't know what was on the agenda." You know, I didn't know what was on the agenda. Otherwise, I would have been at the council meeting because I have a strong opinion about blah blah blah, and I would like to be there for it. And then after the fact, they always say, "Well, had I known." So I think our list, one of those things should be council functions. You know, what's going on, maybe a brief summary of the agenda items, just so that everyone that wants to know can be on that list, and there's no surprises about it.
I have an objection to that. It's on the agendas and all that are on the website. I don't think we need to spoon feed them everything else. If anyone wants to know, they should check the website. It's on there.
Well, as I believe Kathleen just said, not everyone, was it Kathleen or Charlotte? Someone said not everyone had smartphones. And I'm guessing if they're busy, they're probably not sitting in front of a computer. I just think it's another option. You know, I'm not saying that's what we have to do, but there's always an argument for someone who is not connected all the time, like we are.
I definitely agree. You can't limit to just straight desktop computing. I mean, sorry, I mean, I deal in digital environment. You really need the phone counterpart, period. Because that way they have their communications ability through SMS. Yeah, pump it out through SMS. I agree with that approach. But you just can't leave it on computers. I mean, this is what we've been doing. So it's kind of an indicator of, you know, what's wrong. So it's time to move it from straight desktop to phones as well.
But didn't I hear you say, and I don't know that much about all the SMS stuff, but Dave, didn't I hear you say you can only put 140 characters on there?
It's 160 characters with SMS, and with the MMS, it's, I believe, 1,200. I believe that's what it is. Let me find the email right quick.
I agree more, but remember, you can pump a second one as well. You go part 1 of 3, part 2 of 3, part 3 of 3.
Yes, in fact, I could literally spell out the full agenda if you wanted 100 text messages. But I think certainly, what are we discussing tonight? And just as brief and concise as possible is an option. And if it happens to spill over to a couple of messages instead of one, well, it's still going to be more reliable than MMS. Again, whenever we are doing our survey and we find out what people want, basically that would be an item that they could say, yep, I want these messages, or no, I don't. And then if they do, how do you want them? And this is where they would go. I'm not trying to make Lynn and Patty the messengers of everything, but at the same time, they can. I feel like the city, for those people that are busy and they're running around, there should be some way just to let them know what's going on. Remember, the purpose of this group is to find out how to better communicate with the citizens.
Yeah, I also agree. The other thing is, frankly, you should, and a lot of businesses, if you're working at the business, they really don't, they kind of frown on that. I mean, I understand this is your city, this is what's going on, but it's viewed as extraneous. Where for your phone, that's yours. You could punch it up if you want. And again, it's a push mechanism. It's not pool data, it's push.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I would
I think
agree.
that's.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think that's the key. If all we do is rely on the people to go get information on the website, we haven't solved the problem that the committee wants help solving, or the council
And
wants
that's
help.
going on. That's the old school. We got to go new.
Well, I think it needs to be pushed to them, but I guess where I'm trying to figure out, if you only have 160 characters for a text message or whatever that is, and you look at it, next week's agenda, yeah, you could probably put that in there, but an agenda a month ago, there's no way. So
Horrible.
how we do it on business is, frankly, you're right, the Word document, fairly simple. You can count digits on there. You just highlight it. It'll tell you how many digits they are. You just break that word message up into 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 4 of 5. You just copy paste it. You just make 5 copy pastes, 5 texts, and now everybody gets a complete agenda. Screens 1 through 6. So they'll have it, and I'll have it pushed to them. Therefore, they're able to get it wherever they want. They don't have to access it through a computer where they may not be allowed to. And not only that, but a lot of people, again, they're not at home. And even at businesses, not a lot of people have computers. I mean, if they work in the service industry or if they're working around a hospital, they don't have a dedicated machine they can use.
can you attach to a text message, Dave?
You cannot with SMS, but you can with MMS. Now, the attachment is only an image. However, with MMS and smartphones, which I know not everybody has a smartphone, but the majority of people do by now. So with MMS, first off, let me tell you the differences between the two. SMS is 160 characters. The cost is actually 2.28 cents each, and you're only limited to text. For MMS, you're limited to 1,600 characters, plus an image if you want to attach one. The cost for that message is 2.61 cents per message. So bang for buck, MMS is the better way to go, but there's always a possibility somebody would not get that message. However, one thing you can do in MMS is you can attach a link. So whenever the agenda is, whenever a meeting is happening, we could always say, the morning of the meeting, there's a meeting tonight at 6 p.m. Click here for the agenda.
The other thing, you can also attach a photograph of the agenda. We've done that in the past where you get on 1 page or 2 page, there's the 2 photos. Just, click on it, increase, read it, and work there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint, if I got 5 text messages, I wouldn't even waste my time if it came from 5 numbers in a row.
Right.
The average person is just going to say delete, delete, delete. So if you could attach either a picture or what you just said, a link, that would seem to me would be more efficient for the person getting the messages.
Well, I have a question about attaching a link. If the link says get you to the to the agenda on the city website, but you said these people don't have a computer to go on the city website in the first place.
No, hold on. You can do that on the phone too. If you do have the smartphones,
Yeah.
basically you just click on it's hyperlinked. You click on it, you're there.
It's much easier than going and finding it. If there's a link already there, your phone is going to take you right to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I'm going to pull up the next council meeting agenda while we're talking, and I'm going to real quickly, I'm going to create an MMS message with that agenda.
Hey, Dave, I just drafted an example, and this is what my example would say: Bel Air Beach Council Meeting, 3 August 20, and I abbreviated August AUG. Next line, 20.
That's the military dates, Rob.
Yeah, but you can, okay, so go say August 3, 20. 20, next line, 2021 budget. Next line, traffic. Next line, beach access. Next line, fall festival. That's a total of, including spaces, that's 86 characters. So you can hit the major agenda items in 2 text messages. You don't have to put, the whole agenda, the consent agenda, and we're reading an ordinance for the first time. You just put the big things, and that was in less than a text and a half.
Okay.
And maybe a couple of extra ones if we use full civilian dates, Lynn.
Why don't you, it sounds like good, or why don't you send out that new SMS to us with the hyperlink in it, and we can test it from there.
Well, okay, so you guys just keep talking, and let's discuss the list, if that's okay, with our chairman.
One of the issues I have about this communicating on Facebook, and Patty and I were talking about this the other day, about issues like, public records and how do we control that? The city doesn't have a Facebook page now, does it?
We don't officially have one. What we've done, and I was going to update you on this, so I'll just tell you is all. We went to our website hoster. They did a plugin for us. We have set up a Facebook page behind the scene and a Twitter account, and we've tested it to see if we put it in a certain place on our webpage, if it goes to Facebook and Twitter. And the tests we've done, that has worked. It has to be from our webpage, the plugin looks like it has to be from an announcement. As an example, we have an announcement of there's a fall festival on such and such a day. We put it in the webpage, and then it transfers to Facebook, and then it transfers to a Twitter message.
And how do we maintain all that information for public records reasons?
Well, it's on your webpage. It's on your webpage.
Comes back onto the web.
It's a link system, so it's all connected to one another. That's basically what it is. And my understanding is, as long as we don't get in a response on Facebook and Twitter, if we're just pushing information out, then we don't. That's a different animal. We're not. The public records law only is collecting our information that we're sending out, and I don't think that's the committee's intent for us to respond. If that is, then there's going to have to be another person for that because we don't have that capability.
I don't recommend any response. I've said it from day one, lock it down. Basically, it's one-way communication. That is
Right.
not the medium that we want to. Number one, we don't want to be handling messages, direct messages in Facebook. Number two, we definitely don't want to have debate on Facebook.
We call it, yeah, don't get into a troll fight.
Right. Right. So I don't think that's a public records issue because we are maintaining it through the website already.
And
Yeah.
what's the point of putting it out to Facebook?
Well, that's just another social media, I guess, just like Twitter is, just like what else is there out there? Instagram, you know. It's just another medium for someone to be able to get information. You know, if we advertise that, yes, we have a Twitter account, if we advertise we have a Facebook account, and we put those announcements, then
Where
you're
do they put those announcements?
on the website, and they automatically go to those.
Okay.
And it
Yeah,
does.
you ask your friend Wayne to write a little article about how the city is trying to push more information out. He puts it in the article.
Yep. And then once you, the people that use Facebook and Twitter, they check it off, and basically you encourage people to follow you, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, and your post go right to the top of their page whenever they log in, because it's fresh content. Are we still here? Got quiet.
Are we sending something out, Dave?
Not yet. I was just, I'm looking at our agenda here, and oh man, I tell you what. What do you think, Lynn? 10 p.m. this time?
I hope not.
This is city council, not this committee.
Yeah,
Right?
that's not this group.
No, this one ain't happening that long, thank you.
I'm shooting for a lot shorter there.
Lynn, just an FYI, your Facebook page doesn't have comments locked down yet.
Oh, well, I'll.
Just, yeah, maybe make a note.
So people can make comments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any, because it's not live. I wonder.
Yeah, it is. I found it.
For the city of Bel Air Beach?
Mm-hmm. City of Bel Air Beach official.
Oh, okay.
And it's got your post for the, what was it? Special city council meeting set tentative millage rate virtual meeting. Is that what you posted?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's it.
Well, we'll have to make sure because we don't, I don't think responding is
I agree.
reasonable.
Yeah. Well, are those are there public comments? Are they posting?
No, I just found it and I was able to click the comment, and I mean, I could write something in there. I won't, but I just wanted to give you an FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get that locked down. So if he can't lock it down, then what needs to happen is temporarily you suspend the page until you're ready to go back live with it. And there's a way to do that.
Yeah.
I think this was just for a test anyway, right?
Yeah, we haven't, it was just to see if it worked from the website.
How do you get on it from the website? Through the residents thing or the?
No, we haven't put it up on the website at all.
Okay.
It's just was a test to be able to make sure that if you put a message on the website that it transferred automatically. So you wouldn't be logging in 3 different systems. the wrong thing.
That's what. Going back to this spreadsheet about the recommended communication strategy, do we have any other, I think we got the immediates, the routines, and the periodics. I think that makes sense, things that we need to communicate. Anything we think we need to add to this?
Everything else looked pretty complete to me.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like the strategic plan. It's probably more of a living document as we start using this. We may find things we need to add.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since we've been talking here this evening, I've made two changes. One, I added. I think maybe it was Charlotte or somebody else, maybe it was Dave. Under the auto call, I've added that /text system, whatever we end up going with. And then at city meetings there, I just penciled in where it says email and text, as Dave used the example of pushing out an announcement of a council meeting or committee meeting or something.
Okay. I think that.
Rob, I think I would also add that under the status of infrastructure, because I think some of those, just looking at that list, maybe some of those things that get targeted to specific areas, and it would be good to use that system.
Street.
Okay.
Seawalls and bridge status, if it's your bridge, or street or roadway traffic updates if there's a run on Gulf Boulevard.
Yeah. Good.
And that's probably an email or an auto call text, depending on how the resident said they wanted to be contacted. Okay. I think you did a great job on that list. I appreciate that. The postcard that was sent, that we got. I like it, contact me by email, text message. I use the website. If you want to contact me by snail mail, if someone really wants mail.
Is the newsletter on the website? Is it the newsletter on the website, or is it separate?
The newsletter we send, it's on the website, but we send it by constant contact, except for things that have to do with the flood facts and things like that we send out by mail.
Okay. How often does the Bel Air Beach newsletter come out? Is there
every other month.
Okay.
It hasn't been updated on the website. The last one is from June 2019.
Let me look.
Yeah, because I don't remember the newsletter.
Yeah, it gets sent to the constant contact list. And if you're not on
the last one that you sent out, right? Well, that was the one that had the news about the Bel Air Shores ordinance that started that whole thing, right?
Right.
Because then you sent a little while after that, they sent a correction. Yeah.
But we've been sending that out every other month. But the problem that we found is the list that we use is a very small percentage of Bel Air Beach residents. It's probably less than half.
On the constant contact list?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I've said in our previous meetings, and I strongly think that we should recommend to the city council that it consider a hard mail, a snail mail newsletter Obviously, I don't think you can do that every other month, but maybe it's a quarterly type of thing because of that exact issue that Lynn just mentioned. The only people who are getting the electronic version are the people who have asked to receive it. And so your best bet on getting information pushed to people is something that comes to every resident in the city, and there's a pretty good chance they're going to look at it before they throw it away. I know that'll cost money, and the city council will have to debate that and see if they can afford to do it. But I think it's an idea that we ought to give the city council for consideration.
I would agree.
Agreed.
Who did I just hear?
The Charlotte.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Another thing, if we send a postcard like this out, we need to put I call it a disclaimer saying any address you put on here, any phone number you put on here is a matter of public record.
I thought David suggested not having people return this postcard using a computer form. I would suggest we still leave contact by email or phone just for the technology, those that are technically challenged. And then maybe when they call in or email or on, have that warning on here. But I thought he had suggested taking it off so that people aren't sending the postcard back in the mail with their information right on it.
Right. Basically, what I would recommend is as we discussed earlier, is having a form on the website, collecting data with a phone number that you can call if you are unable to use a form. If you can't go to the website for whatever reason, you're not able to use a computer. I know it's kind of a hassle to do things manually, but it's just as much of a hassle to try to filter through postcards and convert the data. And again, I think many people are going to be apprehensive about mailing the thing in.
So we're going to send something out that's saying, we're looking at ways to better communicate with the citizens. Here are the options. Snail mail, email, text messages, the website, or whatever. Please, there is a form on the website for you to enter your preferences, or if you like, call City Hall and someone will take your information rather than sending the card back.
We did that, Bel Air Beach. It was when they sent that thing out on the parks, and on the back they put, please take 1 minute to let your thoughts be known. And we would change that, but it was to our mayor and city council by emailing pgentry@cityofbelairbeach.com. We could put something like that on the back of it.
Oh, which card is this?
We did it for Bel Air Beach brief. I don't know where mine.
We didn't do that. That was a resident. City didn't do that.
Okay, that was a nice one. But they had on the back, they just had that little thing about,
Right. No, it wasn't done by the city.
I thought it was fancy, Lynn. I thought, go Lynn.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. Or Patty.
Okay, I know who it was then. But it was a good idea at the bottom. We could use that.
We did something similar a while ago for the undergrounding project at the Bellevue Island Estates.
Yeah.
We used
sent a postcard.
Yeah, through the University of South Florida Institute of Government worked with us on that one. And it was, I don't know how many years ago. But yeah, don't have them send the card back saying, we're just looking for this information, go on the website and check it out, or call City Hall.
Yeah. Yep.
Or come into City Hall and we'll have a form at the front desk.
Again, I think it boils down to, do you really want messages from us or not? Is it worth a little bit of hassle for you to make this work?
We'd probably send it to an email like info, we'd probably put that as the contact, or put a form on the website if somebody didn't want to give it, if they wanted to call. It's a one-time hassle, you know, in the big scheme of things. Yeah, it may take some time and energy, but if you're able to compile something, then it's more beneficial.
Agreed.
And we did pull down something else. We did pull down the residents, all addresses for the city from the property appraiser. And we looked into the voter roll, but that's not really any benefit because it's a list of people that voted yes, but the addresses are still the same. It's not changing anything.
So we do have the list of
addresses. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's about, I don't know, 25 pages or something like that. But we didn't list it. We didn't list it by name. We listed it by just address or a condo with a like unit 401, 2400 Gulf Boulevard. That's how it's listed. It's for each parcel.
So we would send them out to resident at 2400 unit 401.
Yeah, as an example. All the condos in, the condo at, we'll say 2900, we've got all the unit numbers, so the postcard would basically, or whatever we sent would be addressed to this unit list that we got. So we've done that.
Are you planning on, when this gets sent out, if it gets sent out, if they take the recommendations, sending it to the tax roll addresses that are not Bel Air Beach addresses as well?
Well, what originally was asked was the addresses that were here. Mm-hmm. We would have to create a different list, which we can do, but because, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of people that have a different address for their taxes. Yeah.
Guys who on the unit above me live in Buffalo, New York, so then does it go to them or does it go to unit B2 and then hopefully their mail gets forwarded to them?
Right. They would forward their mail, I would think.
Well, you've also got, like the home we just bought had tenants in it. The owners didn't live here. We live here now, but I mean, so you may not be always getting the owner. If you send it to just resident, you may be getting their tenants.
Right. And that's going to have to be determined. Who do you want to send it to? Do you want to send it to the property owner? Or do you want to send it to the tenant, to the people that live here? Let's put it that way.
Who may be the voters? They may live here full time and be registered to vote here, even though they don't own the property.
Right.
Right. And I think that's who you're probably responding to. Who are the voters?
Well, the voter list is shorter than the mailing list. I can tell you that.
Is it?
Yes.
How many voters do we have? Any?
Patty might know that.
Just
do
curious.
You, Patty?
I think it's around. I haven't looked at it in a couple of years since the last election, but like 1,100. That's just an approximate.
That is a lot less.
I can find it real quick.
No, just curious.
Okay.
But you're going to get a more complete address list if you use the property appraiser's list.
Right.
Now, another thing that I considered was I looked at the email list that Lynn provided me with, and basically everything was already compiled. There were no phone numbers. It was strictly emails and nothing else. Some of the emails didn't even have names. You could sort of make out what they were, but it wasn't perfect. And but there were quite a few of them out there, and it seems to me that you could send that list out by constant contact and get a jump start on collecting data by just directing them to the website with a newly created form. That would immediately eliminate probably hundreds of dollars worth of mailings that we would need to send out to collect this data.
How many people do we have on our constant contact list? Do you know?
469,
How
something
much?
like 469. But as I said, we don't know that those are all residents. And the other thing I do know in looking at the list that some households have two and three emails because they've got their name on them or something.
Yep, I saw that. But it would certainly give us a jump start on collecting that data on our form, on our online form. And then, while you're collecting this data, you might as well, what's your physical address? So you've got name, your address, and then here's the types of data we're planning on sending to you. How would you like it, each of these to be received? Or
yeah, what we'd probably want to do is send that out and tell them this list is going to be discontinued, because it would be. You'd want to create a new one. And if you want to be on the list, then please forward us your name, phone number, whatever we want to put on that card. And then what we could do, because the list we got from the property appraisers broke down by street, as long as we had the address, then we could cull those names off of it, and at least we'd have some data there.
Good point. Yeah, get rid of the 469 constant, or 400 whatever constant contact people, and then as a start.
We'll be really building even the constant contact list again, in essence.
It'll be our click send list.
Yeah.
That's what we're moving the constant contact list to, right? If we go with this click send.
Well, I don't think you want to eliminate it if you got 2 or 3 options of pushing information out. So why would you want to? It's no different than we put information on the website, we put it on Facebook, we put it on Twitter, we put it on whatever other. Right? To me, that makes sense that you're pushing information out. If someone wants to opt out because we've sent it to them on click send, I may be saying it wrong, but if we say they don't want the click send, they want the constant contact, then they can tell us that, and we just remove them from whatever list. That's.
Yeah, I think you're right. You need redundancy. That's
right.
The only way to try to get better coverage.
Right.
Okay.
Another key piece of all of this is maintaining an extensive database. It's not hard to extract data from each one of these services. It's just every once in a while you refresh your data, make sure that it's current, and if anyone is opted out, you show that they're no longer in our master list. That way, if we ever decide to change services or use a new service or anything else, we still have the data.
Excuse me, Chairman, I have to leave right now. I got a 4:30 a.m. appointment, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Well, thanks for all your input and have a nice sleep.
Are there any other changes or that you want me to make to this chart, this Excel spreadsheet?
I can't really think of anything.
Oh, I think it's pretty pretty thorough.
Okay, then I'll update what we've got here, which is really pretty minor in terms of just adding the word text and in a couple places, and send it, through Patty back out to you all here in the next couple of days. And if you want me to be the one who modifies it, just send back through Patty any recommended changes, and we'll make it work.
Okay, thank you. I'm assuming, and I haven't looked at the Monday night's city council agenda, but I'm assuming there's a report from the committee.
Oh, Patty, did you put that on there? I don't think so.
No.
No,
Oh.
but we can
amend it.
But that, yeah.
It'll be fine.
Okay. Because I think if we were to
It's going to be a virtual meeting. I will tell you that.
okay. All right. But it's not going to be. Will it be over by Wednesday?
I hope so.
Not funny.
Sorry.
We lived it, right, Dave?
Yes, absolutely.
Is there something you want us to do with this postcard? Do we want to, actually I see Tony there now.
Yeah.
Does he want to send this to us, and we'll do a couple modifications to it to send it back to City Hall by phone or email and get it cleaned up? Do you want to do that or not?
Yeah, I can send it to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send it. I did it in Publisher, and I can forward that to you. Like I said, it's a very rough draft. It was just an idea, of what it might look like. But that's certainly not my forte, is creating something like that. But yeah, I can forward that to you. And
we can try to, is there any comment? Because it sounded like the group was talking about having the contact either be by phone or with a form or something we create on the website. Is that what I understood?
We need this information. Go on the city website and you'll find a form that looks like this postcard, and fill it in or drop it off at City Hall or call, rather than sending it back.
Right. I mean, if we get this cleaned up, we could actually put that out on Constant Contact once the committee's fine with it in council.
Sure.
And you'll give the council a update on Monday. So
I do have a quick suggestion over on the notification options on the side, is to add phone call under that if the city does approve going with something like the click send.
Yeah. Yeah, we got text message on there too. Okay.
And you may want to add Twitter, since you tested starting a Twitter account, because they listed the Facebook page.
Well,
We've got it set up in the dark, so you might as well add it. I mean,
yeah, Twitter starts to that kind of get into that social media thing with the back and forth, or can you do that to where you don't have that?
We don't respond.
Okay.
We'd have to make sure we're not interested in responding. We'll take the information. It's mainly
as much as people do use Twitter, I don't, and I don't appreciate Twitter, and I almost think it's worthless for basically what we're trying to accomplish. It's just always, it's sort of like next door, only on a grander scale. And anything that we do there, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about Twitter. Um, I like the Facebook idea, but um, obviously it will be the council's pleasure to determine
What they want to do.
what they want to do. But I absolutely would veto, or not veto, but vote against it.
Yeah, I have similar reservations about Twitter.
We've put in there the alert Pinellas on that City of Bel Air on the postcard. Do we want to confuse that alert Pinellas emergency only number and ability with all the rest of that, which is purely Bel Air Beach communication?
Well, this is the problem, is that they have to be on that media to get things like the water main break. It's really part, even though we have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I would say that we just recommend also signing up for that.
I think that needs to be clear, that it's a recommendation and those are the things that you get with that, with signing up for alert Pinellas.
It might not be a bad idea to clarify that our services will not bring you this information. And here's a list of what we cannot do for you because we're not in control of it.
And providing that form on the website will give us a lot more space than a postcard will, so we can explain that in more detail.
Encourage everybody to get on alert Pinellas.
Yes.
Let's push alert Pinellas.
And sorry, I'm checking in late.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Okay. Anything else we think we need to talk about?
Well, since I missed the start of it, could you start all over?
Patty, could you send the recording?
Yeah. No, thank you.
Okay. Well,
Maybe we'll give you a quiz, Tony.
It's a pop quiz. That was pretty good at those in the day. As long as it doesn't have a lobster in it, because I've seen enough of that last couple of days. I don't want to see that again.
okay. Well, I think we've gone over a lot of good stuff tonight.
Good.
We'll go with the council meeting Monday night. Patty, that's a Zoom that we can get in on, and I don't know if we're on the agenda or not. We will be, I assume.
Yeah, we can amend that.
And then
yes, and you can get in on the Zoom, yes.
And then you'll send a copy of the updated spreadsheet to the council members so they've got that in front of them. And
yeah, I'll update the spreadsheet probably tomorrow and get it to Patty, before noon, so that she can send it out to all of you.
okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, I think we've had some good discussions tonight. When do we want to meet again? Like the 13th would be. You want to do like the 20th? That would be 3 weeks. Are Thursdays good for most people?
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't be able to do the 20th.
Okay. I'm going to do it the week before on the 13th.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah, works for me.
Okay. Patty, Lynn?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're flexible.
Okay, so let's schedule our next meeting at 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 13th. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
We'll plan for that meeting to be on this same format, right, Zoom?
Yeah, they extended the virtual meetings right now till 1 September.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Anyone have anything else they want to discuss?
I don't think so. I would recommend that we wrap this up at our next meeting.
Yeah, I would give it back to the city council and say, here's what we talked about, here's what we suggest. It's in your hands now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I agree.
An advisory.
So it's pretty much the next meeting. All we need to discuss is ways of monitoring the effectiveness, and then kind of the discussion to substantiate our position. And because I'm looking at the deliverables and priorities on the agenda, and I think we've really covered A. B has kind of been, I guess we haven't openly discussed it, but it's been kind of in the background of everything we discussed with costs and stuff. And then D as well, with use of social media, we've had that in the discussion. So I'm just kind of want to clarify the things to think about for next time. Is that pretty much just C and E that's left? Yeah. Monitoring and substantiating our position?
Right.
I think you're right.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Other than that?
Dave, I just got a text from the City of Bel Air Beach Council.
Can you hold it up?
Can you all see it?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm authorized to use that logo. Please don't sue me, Lynn.
Yeah, I got that picture.
Did you just send a text message?
I got that picture.
I didn't. I didn't get it.
I got
That looks
it.
good.
I'm sorry, Tony.
Like agenda item number 4, the best.
You weren't here whenever I collected the numbers, and I'll send you. I'll forward you the one that came to me so you can see what I sent out.
It looks good.
Okay, I just got it now.
I don't have it yet.
Mine just came through.
It's interesting. It didn't come from the same number.
That's right. It's because it's a different service.
Yeah.
Same company, but I guess they have dedicated numbers that they're using and shared.
This is the quick send. Is that?
Yes, but this was the MMS. That's how I was able to get the the logo on there.
All right.
We'll be sending you a letter, Dave.
Oh, I bet.
I never saw anything.
That's a great agenda.
Nothing.
Don't forward that agenda to anyone.
It's great though.
I'm already putting in my anonymous request for all your phone messages.
I want to see the text.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Boys and girls, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. All right. Thanks much.
Thank you.
Sweet
Bye.
dreams.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.